Hey everybody, it's Book of Katherine. I'm about to post a really big video, and I kind of want to give a preview to it before it happens, because I don't explain it in the video. It's just the video of a dance that I did, and I need to, and then I've just filmed a bunch of stuff after it this week, and in all those videos I'm like, and I didn't post it, and I've decided to post it. I've decided to go ahead and post it, so I need to do an introduction to it and explain to you the video so that you understand why I title it the way that I did and what's coming, and so you understand it. So my goal is to move, right? My goal is to take these procedures and to actually take, when you go through all this pain in a procedure, right? And then you heal up from it, and then the goal is to get mobility in whatever you get a procedure in, and take that and get that mobility going. And I've had enough procedures now that I was getting a lot more mobility in my spine. And so every day I ask myself, like, what can I do for mobility? And slowly it's been more and more. And you guys have seen how I hang my legs over. But when I have those short little times up where I'm able to get up, I'm like, okay, so what am I able to do? And it depends on what's working. Is my shoulder working that day? Is my hip working that day? Like, my hip really likes to go out of joint. And so sometimes it's walking I can do, sometimes it's moving I can do. And lately I have been in so much pain or whatever that filming has really worked, like the walks have been working. And so that's great because I'm able to do YouTube again. Yay. But there is this thing that happens with dancing that you should know about. So when I did physical therapy, we actually did this, my husband, when we've been doing dancing to get up to this point. All the dancing you're seeing on tape, that's since January. All these things with wraps around me, right? I talked about that in earlier videos. These huge neoprene wraps around me, and then with a partner holding me up slowly on the dance floor, one song, then two songs. You heard me in January, like really starting slow. And then as I got more procedures, then slowly but surely, like engaging, working with a physical therapist, then slowly learning how to engage and re-engage with my tummy muscles, and slowly taking off one wrap at a time and trying to dance with just two wraps, then trying to dance with one wrap. And then, so that dancing thing that you saw me doing with the red hat, where I did the Ralph Riley video, and you see me, that was me dancing for the first time without wraps. When you see me doing the J-Lo one where I'm like this, I have 3 huge neoprene wraps underneath me. And so that's like this huge deal. It was so exciting because I was dancing on my own. That's why I was so excited. You see me like this and I'm like, yay, because I was dancing without a partner. It was such a big deal. It was such a big deal in June of this year. And then all of a sudden I did the Ralph Riley, and that was me without wraps. It was a big deal. But the point is that it takes a song that gets me going. It has to pump me with adrenaline. It's very hard to find songs like that pump me with that kind of adrenaline. And literally what we did for my physical therapist is my husband, he was like, we need to dance for her. We need to actually do some dancing for her so she can see what you're doing and correct and work on it so that as you're dancing, because dancing is physical therapy for me. So we got out there and we were doing the dancing for her, and we put on a song, and I was like, okay, I'm dancing for her. I'm dancing for her. And then I said, you know what? She was like, okay. And I was like, this isn't how I dance. Like, this just isn't how I was like, this isn't going to help at all. I said, this isn't going to do it at all. Because when we go out dancing, like, let's be honest. I said, go find one of the songs that gets me going. Because when we DJ, like sometimes we have to actually do a dance night for some of the ballrooms around here. We actually put on dance nights, and my husband like DJs the night, right? And when we do that, in order to get me going, he loads it with music that he calls like my music, the music that makes me, like, drives me from the floor. Because after teaching a class, I'm done. I've got my legs hung up, and he'll load it with music that, like, I cannot help. I cannot help, no matter how broken and my legs are hanging over. I'm like, and I'm off. It just rises me from the dead, and I can't help it. And then I make stupid decisions. That's what I call like my stupid songs. I make dumb decisions, and my body does things it shouldn't do. Like it shouldn't do, and procedure, no procedure. If that music gets going, I forget that, the body just takes over, and it's like, and it does all this stuff, right? That it shouldn't be doing. But right now we're at a point where we actually got to a point. There was a point during this year where we had to actually make a choice. I hated dancing. I didn't look forward to it anymore. I didn't want to dance. I actually got angry about dancing. I didn't want to, I was not looking forward to it anymore. The recovery was awful. And what we actually had to make a decision was that when those songs came on, I had to sit out. I had to actually sit out and not dance those songs and only dance on what I call boring music so that I could just relax and just do like nice, easy, like not just breathe and focus on my physical therapy. And now we started loading with the stupid music. So we did that for my physical therapist, and she was like, what just happened when we put on one of my stupid songs or whatever, when we put on one of my songs. I was like, put on one that I love, put on one that I love. And he put on one that I loved. And then I was just like, da, 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 and I just did all this stupid stuff. And she was like, what just happened? Like, what is that? And I was like, all right, now tell me what I need to work on. Because I knew that then my body would do this stuff. It wouldn't be like performing. It wouldn't be nice and, it wouldn't do any of this. I knew it would actually forget anything. It would stop trying to be all nice and perfect, and it would go be stupid. It would just, and all the bad habits or all the brokenness would show, and all the just, because it would be so busy trying to, do everything it wanted to music and stuff like that. And so I was like, we really need to show her that. And so what happens now is that I'm strong enough. I've connected, like one of the big things this year was connecting to my tummy muscles, actually feeling it, being able to control it. I wasn't able, when you atrophy, I had lost all connection with my stomach muscles. I could try and squeeze my stomach muscles. Nothing would happen. I didn't know what squeezing was. Like, she was like, see this one down here? And she was like, really try to connect with it. And I wouldn't be able to feel anything. It was a really big deal this year when I felt my first tummy muscle and I was able to contract it. That was big PT this year, was being able to contract one tummy muscle. And I'll never forget when I first connected the first one here and was able to contract it. And then I went into my shakes and everything. But I understood the shakes and we knew how to calm it down. Like, we just waited it out or whatever. But it's been like that as each one connects. And same thing with the procedures, the body, all these atrophied muscles, when they lose the ability, when the psoas relaxed, then all these other atrophied muscles around the hips. Anyway, that's a whole other story. So my point is that now that I'm home and now that I'm starting to get better after I've done the right psoas and now that I've done the right lumbar, all the right facets, and now that I'm walking and I'm getting these stronger leg muscles, I am looking for these things of activities to do every day. And now that I'm able to film again, like I'm able to look somewhat presentable to you, like I look really tired because I have been, like, I should have opened my eyes. Like, I have been powering through. Like, my body has just been driving from the pain. It wants to move. These muscles want to go and start working again. And so every day I ask, like, well, what can I do? Should it be a walk or should it be a dance? And once it did the Ralph Riley dance, it was like, that was the second time it had danced on its own, and it did it without raps. I was like, let's try the all night. And I couldn't believe how much it did. And once it did all that, because I had the support of the walls and the support of the doorknob, that dance unlocked so much. I heard all this cracking in my hips, like super big cracking all along in my spine and in my hips when I was doing that. Because that song, it was so fast, but it really, really, really shoves you, like, or shoves me. Like, I don't really have control. I'm so high on the adrenaline. Like, I'm so far out on the adrenaline. And what happened is that was Monday. And then the next morning, I had an idea for Can't Hold Us. Can't Hold Us just came by on a playlist. And I was like, uh-oh. Because I imagined Can't Hold Us on the Freedom Trail. I suddenly had an idea of Can't Hold Us on the Freedom Trail. And I got scared. I actually got teary-eyed. Because I knew. I Can't Hold Us is a song, like, when it came on, I started doing all this stuff, and I knew it wouldn't be like, oh, just move my shoulder. Oh, just move my hip. Oh, just move a little thing. I knew it wouldn't just be like isolate my legs. I knew my body would suddenly go wild, like way out there, when it really couldn't do all that. Like when it really would hurt like bloody. I knew the aftermath would be bad, and I knew the pain. I knew the pain after. Does that make sense? Like you know how bad it's going to be. And so I've never really done that. I rarely do that, but I actually tweeted you guys and I was like, I'm scared. But I knew once I had the idea, I couldn't stop. Like my body wanted to go out there and it wanted to do that. And it did. It just powered me out there. I couldn't stop. And I was terrified the whole way out. Like I was so scared of the pain, if that makes sense. Like I was so scared because I knew the pain that would be coming. But at the flip side, I also knew, like I had seen what doing the Raf Riley, like just doing that lock, like I can even do more. Like, I don't know if you can compare that from that little thing you just saw. This was just tremendously more motion, way more joint fluidity, super more, just tons more because of what happened that day on that trail. The pain that I went through, the absolute tremendous pain, because that song has a special relevance in my life. It did special things for my writing, got me through a very special time in my life. And it's funny because I think it also applies to like Clean the GOP. I think it applies to where people are at against like what's going on with Germany and everything. I think everyone can feel Germany. They just are being told that it's not Germany, it's this, or it's not Germany, it's that, or it's not Germany, it's this, or, you know, every politician will point everywhere except for Germany. No one points at Germany. No one points at these, you know, global top 20 companies at all. You know, you look up top 20 companies, it's not even the top 20 companies unless you look at their global reports and everything like that of sustainable development's global reports, and then you see it all, right? It's just, it's really, but everyone can feel it. Everyone can feel it. And that's why that song did so well, because everyone can feel it crushing down on them. They all know there are these cartels. They can all tell big farmers coming down on them. They can all tell big oils coming down on them, but they don't know the names. Everyone talks about these companies, but they don't know the names. And so this song is just answers that call that everyone, when I say the citizens of the world are united, they want freedom from these cartels that are out there. And we don't know they're all based in one location in this, you know, city of Frankfurt, and that they've, you know, this whole thing that we've talked about or whatever. And so it's even back then, it did this voice in me for where I was at in my writing. And I was like, oh boy, this song, like my writing, my history with my writing, on top of what we've done with Clean the GOP, it's going to pound out my body. It's going to blot out it's going to blot out all the pain that I have, and it's going to yank my joints apart. The problem is that when it was over, you know, I'm sitting there wearing these big nursing orthotic shoes out there. And then like, you know, I don't have clothing that fits anymore. Like all my clothing's crazy. And I'm not really thinking that way. In my head, I'm just thinking, got to get out there and get this body going. And I want to just get the body broken apart. Like the body's ready to just break out of all these joints that have been crystallized in a way, all this cartilage that's been crystallized, all these calcium deposits from staying still for so long. They want to be broken up. And so for me, you can see it at the end, like at the end, I'm actually crying, and I don't know if you can even see it, but I'm weeping at the end, the whole end. I'm just crying the whole way because I knew what would be on the other side of it. Because of what had happened with this Raf Riley dance, because what had happened with Raf Riley, I saw how much that had broken up my body. I saw how much freedom that had given my body after the recovery process, which was hell. I'm not going to lie. Like I've been waking up at 3 a.m. or I've been waking up and not able to sleep. The pain, like screaming, getting onto the thing and stuff. And my poor husband, and like, it's been, that's why I look like this. That's why I'm like, oh, you know, because the aftermath or whatever. But then I'm filming all the time, and then I the motion, like I was saying, like, look at this, like that, okay, this is even different. And you're going to see why, because after I do that, for example, after I do this dance, I was able to clean up that room and do the leg hanging over for you. I was actually able to demonstrate that. I never am able to clean up my room. I'm never able to go down and bend things and move things. I'm not able to do that. In real life, this is my reality. In my real life, in reality, we built that handicap room, right? And then we didn't know my shoulders were bad. We didn't know my shoulders were all locked up and that they were linked with my spine. And so what would happen is that if I ever got clothing actually down, I'd like claw down the clothing, and then the clothing would just stay there lined up for a month until I finally had a good shoulder day, and then I'd hang everything up. Does that make sense? Until we got the laundry, and then So I would try things on and see what didn't hurt for the day, and then all the things that, I didn't end up wearing, then I'd hang it up after. Like, then I'd hang it up on my good day. That's life. Like, that's real chronic pain life. That's the life I was living until I did the dance that I'm about to post. Until I did Can't Hold Us. And that's what I'm about to post for you. And then I'll post all the videos that I have posted and that have enabled me to do this, which is so different. And so what you're going to see is, and I didn't want to post it because it felt private. It did so much for me. It felt private to me, and I felt like I needed to hold on to it for a while. 2, I was like, it's bad dancing. It's bad dancing. I look like crap to me. I'm sure it won't look like that to you or whatever. But as a dancer, I'm just like, oh, look at this. Like, I can see all the stuff. Like, when I put my shoulders back, I'm like, oh, I can't even. There's all these things to me as a dancer. I'm like, oh, look what doesn't move. But the thing is that, for example, I jump at it. And I say this in another video, like, my husband was shocked. Like, when he came home, I was just like, you will not believe what happened today. You will not believe what happened today. You will not believe what happened. I show him the video, and he just couldn't believe the movement I did on that. And that's the song, that moved me past and actually got me to actually jump. That kind of exercise. I need these songs that do that. And Can't Hold Us, I knew it'd make me be stupid and do things. And the aftermath was awful. I'm not going to lie. But then the next day, you saw it. My legs were hanging over, and I was like showing you how I put my bolster in between my legs. I was watching that video. I was like, I just opened up my legs. Like, I'm not able to do, I was never able to, I was watching that video going, I couldn't do that before. 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 All of that is because of the video you're about to see. This video is such a turning point in my recovery. I can't even begin to tell you. So these stupid songs, I should say, they've provided me great help when dancing with my husband, but they're now providing great recovery. And in this week, this sudden week, the Raf Riley kind of kicked it off. Once I finally got enough of core muscles, finally I got enough, development in my core muscles to take those wraps off. And I have to thank Raf Riley for having such a good song, dun 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 dun. I've been looking for music that makes me want to move like that or even isolate, and I'm having a really hard time finding it that gets me grooving like that. It's very difficult to find music that gets me past the pain. Like, there's music I wanted to not past the pain, not past this kind of pain, not past this kind of pain, honey, not past this kind of pain. Oh, no, honey. And so what happens is that this song, this Can't Hold Us, just powered me past it. And then the next thing you know, like, I did like a dance lesson the next day. And then all of a sudden I just did something to Sail. And I couldn't believe it. I watched Sail. I did it on my stretch machine. I do a whole introduction to you for my stretch machine. It's the first time I was able to get up to the stretch machine in forever because it requires going up the stairs. I was actually able to get up the stairs, and I got on that stretch machine, and then that song came on, Sail, and I automatically started stretching on the stretch machine. And I was like, ooh, oh my gosh, this is going to be huge. And I knew it was going to be another huge breakthrough, which I never would have had if it weren't for Can't Hold Us, which is appropriate. I mean, Macklemore just did Shadow, and I just was like, you never know. You never know who's listening. I just thought that was such an amazing song for where we're at right now, and all the writing we've been doing about the shadow and about 007 and Cheryl Atkinson, what she talks about, a shadowy, organization. That's her whole thing, is that a shadowy organization that's controlling things. And then he did a song called The Shadow, and it's just like we are all aware from all different corners of life, independent, libertarian, we're all aware that there's something here. And anyway, so I was doing Sail, and I just was watching it going, I can see where the limitations are in all these joints. Like I can see how I'm compensating and how I'm grabbing bars to compensate, but it ain't where I was on Sunday. We're talking like it's as if I've just like moved a whole year in a week. A whole year in a week. And I was like, I'm going to have to post Can't Hold Us so that you can understand why I've just suddenly jumped from Ralph Riley, where I'm like, to like, Sail, where I'm like, woo! And it looks like, that my spine is just like twist. And I'm like, well, Can't Hold Us did that. And it was extremely painful, but it's necessary. It's necessary in the recovery, and you have to go towards the pain sometimes, but you also have to know when the pain's bad. There's a difference between bad pain and good pain, and you kind of have to know your body. You have to pay attention to your body. And I have friends that, anyway, I'm starting to wear out my lower. It's going, and I have to go down, or else I'm going to have an episode. But that's the thing, is the more I do these, the like even standing up is physical therapy. That requires core muscles to stand up. That was good. Turns out all those videos I was doing with you was every time I did that, I was strengthening my core muscles every time I did that with you. That was a really good, I didn't have raps for all those videos for Clean the GOP, but when I would sit down, that means I was really doing poorly or whatever. When I was always excited when I was able to stand up for you, that was really important for my legs to stop me from like going away. You know what I mean? So it's good that we did all that together. So we're just going to keep getting better. So the next video that's coming is going to be Can't Hold Us. That's why I say in the title, I think I'm going to say in the title, Dancing for My Freedom, because I knew how much you're not going to be able to tell. You're not going to be able to tell. You guys won't be able to tell how much it hurts. I don't think. You won't be able to tell. If you pay attention to my joints, every time you see where it doesn't rotate normally, I am pushing past like all these things where I'm stretching and doing things as far as I can go. All of those things, like I did one thing where I popped up one side, it was all fluid, and then I was like, okay, try it. You've never done it. Because I noticed in the Ralph Riley, I did all my isolations on the right, and I did no isolations on the left, because this left side hasn't been worked on yet. There was nothing on the left, and I was like, try it. It can't hold us. I was like, the music's calling for it, and so I was like, and I did, and it, like even doing now, I'm just like, like I want to cry, and so that's why, but when I was on the freedom trail, I was like, this is going to set me free. And I think it was literally me breaking the bonds of some sort of slavery of these muscles and this calcium and the pain. I was fighting this pain, these chains that came down from my immobility, from whatever injuries, the deterioration. There were slave chains put on me in a way, the pain and the slave chain and the atrophy. And I went out there on the trail. I went towards the pain, and I specifically put on something that would make me go towards pain and blind me from it to get me past and set me free from my chains. And it did. I've been filming all week. I've been doing all things until all of a sudden I did Sail today, and you'll see the difference. You'll see, you won't recognize it. You won't recognize it at all. From Ralph Riley to Can't Hold Us to all of a sudden Sail, the difference in joint rotation and movement is going to be, if for those of you maybe who know body mechanics, that's the difference, is what I did on Can't Hold Us. And that's the importance of, physical therapy and things like that, and knowing your body. I should say on these things, like I thought, like as they're massaging and doing these things, it has taken massages. Your donations are helping with doctors that aren't covering it. They're doing like certain kinds of therapies and massaging this stuff out to help get the motion into the joints again. That's why I said I cried through the entire massage that they did. They did a special massage my muscles don't feel like normal muscles anymore. They're all like little cotton balls now. So when they massage it, it doesn't feel like I used to get massages when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like I got massages all the time. It used to feel so good. They don't feel like that anymore. It's hell. It's absolute hell now. They're doing different kinds of massages, and I just, oh, you know what I mean? It's hell. It's absolute hell. But they're like, you're not alone. There are others just like you. And I'm like, oh, great. You know, that really sucks to hear. But at least they're going in. That's really good that they're going in. So I guess I'm just proof that it's worth it and it works. You know what I mean? I guess I'm proof, and I just wanted to give you a preview of like what you're going to be seeing from the videos coming up. So anyway, and what you're going to see in Can't Hold Us, it's me setting myself free. Truly. So I love you. See you guys later.